Okay guys, so I want to apologize because the intro to this video actually got deleted, and it's not worth refilming because obviously I can't refilm it because I've already made the plush. So basically the materials you're going to need are just a bunch of different kinds of Sharpies. You're going to see which ones I need in the video, and some different fabric, and of course a glue gun. And you're going to see all that stuff in the video that you're going to need, but this is me filming afterwards because I accidentally deleted it. So yeah guys, this is just going to be the makeshift intro. So this is the Scrap Baby DIY. A few more things I forgot to mention. You're also going to want to have a little bit of green, for sure, a little bit of green, just a tiny bit, possibly. And then obviously a Scrap Baby plush. I mean, this wouldn't be a Scrap Baby tutorial without Scrap Baby. So, pardon me. Let's just get into it. So, I'm going to do this tutorial a little bit differently. I'm going to make this plush a little more accurate to the real Scrap Baby. So if you see on my Scrap Baby, I put the eyelids and the side of the face as green. But I looked at more pictures and I looked at more fan models, and they actually did it as blue. So I'm going to do this one as light blue instead of light green, and we're going to see how it turns out. So first you want to get your light blue, and you want to start coloring in the lines here. Make sure that you don't color over the eyes. This should be very easy. A lot of this plush is just coloring, aside from the hair and the claw. So most of this is going to be coloring. I'd also recommend you guys have your hot glue gun plugged in, and so it can start heating up, because the hotter the better. Although also the hotter the more dangerous. So as you can see there, we have Scrap Baby. And, I mean, she's looking pretty good so far. Obviously, we haven't done very much, but we just need to color both of these. So tell me in the comments, guys, have you been excited for this? I know I was looking forward to doing this video. I just needed to find time, because these take at least a couple hours to film, when a normal video takes, not very long to film. It takes longer to edit, though. So, there's a few spots here you can see it smudged onto the side, but that's not going to matter because there's going to be a lot of withering. So, I'd go over it a lot, just so that it doesn't smudge and it doesn't come off. And there what we've got so far. Looks like we've got Baby with makeup on. So, next thing, let's just grab it again, and let's do the little side of the face, a little smush thing. So, one of her face plates in Five Nights at Freddy's 6 is kind of discolored, and it's kind of a blue color. So I did it as green because it looked green when the game first came out. But upon closer inspection, you can tell that it is not green. It is indeed blue. So you want to do those lines right there. You want to separate the nose and the it's like almost making it a muzzle. Then you want to do the same in the chin. It's fine if these don't line up. Also, you've got up here, you want to make sure you separate about from the middle of the side of the nose all the way to the side of the mouth, or to the side of the eye, sorry, not mouth. And then on this side, you want to take about a little bit below the middle of the eye and go all the way to the edge until you get to this little line here where the seam is. Just want to go about there, color it over a little bit. And then I'd recommend just drawing up the seam. It doesn't have to be right on it, but right about that area. So there, you've got the outline. So now you just want to go around each part of the face. Feel free to fast forward through any parts that you feel you already know. It's perfectly fine, or if you don't want to watch me color the entire thing, you can just skip through this. I know I'm going to edit some of this out, but for now, I'm going to keep this in because I want to be able to talk to you guys and stuff, so, yeah. Make sure you share these with your friends, guys. I know a lot of people like to make plushies, and I feel like my DIYs are very useful. Also, Big Daddy T's DIYs are very useful. He kind of did DIYs first, so props to him. Or he did plush DIYs, at least. If you guys don't know Big Daddy T, go sub to his channel. He's Gavin TV's dad. And he does DIYs on some of his customs. I think he did Scrap Baby and Molten Freddy. I think he did El Chip. Oh, I'm getting marker all over my hands. I'd recommend you don't try not to touch the plush with your hand. Otherwise, it's going to get all over you. As you can see there, I was careless. One thing that's interesting, there's nothing you can do about this, but if you notice inside the head, you can see the blues kind of spreading. It's because the ink spreads around. So there's nothing you can do about that. Like, see, it's doing it here. That doesn't hurt anything. Don't worry about that, guys. So this looks very strange so far, I'd say. It looks like she has like some sort of weird like Harley Quinn mismatched makeup on. So yeah, we've got that so far. Next, we need our black. I don't know if this black Sharpie has any ink because I use a lot of them and a lot of them run out of ink fast. But let's start doing the actual withering. So first with this eye, I'm just going to do the exact same withering as I did on my original. Let's take this and draw a tiny bit of withering under this eye right there. Guys, the camera cut off. I'm back, so let's just keep going with the withering. So let's bring it up around here. Let's do about there. I'd say is pretty similar to my other one. And then let's do a little, oh, I'm moving the camera by accident. Let's do a little patch here. About like that. Make sure you color it nicely. And then another one. Let me see how much. I did a lot on that side. Yeah, I did a lot on the other plush, so let's just put a lot here. Do about that much. I want to color both sides, like brush up and down, so that it gets underneath it as well. Like that. Looks pretty good. All right, so we've got that patch on the side, and then we just want to draw a line across, about like that. And we'll make it a little bumpy line, as if it's just some withering. Cutting across the face, such as that. There we go. So that looks good so far. Looks still pretty normal. She doesn't look that withered yet. Let's do the side of the face. There's a little bit of patch here, so let's just kind of outline it like that. I'd say that's good. If you get any in here, it's perfectly fine because we're going to be coloring in there anyway. So there we go. All right, looks pretty nice. Oh, it made a stain on the table, so make sure that you don't let it drip on the side of the table or droop down while it's still drying, because like I've said in previous DIYs, just like paint, you have to wait for the Sharpie to dry. So now my table has some stains on it, but we're just gonna forget about that and pretend that doesn't happen. So yeah, let's go ahead and color the inside of the eyes now. I think that's what was making it look weird. So you want to make sure you don't color inside the colored part of the pupil at all. If you see when you color on the outside of the pupil, it kind of stains it. So that's why you want to make sure you do not touch the pupil. You just get on the very edge of it. I would recommend always being on the side that you're coloring. So like never color like that on this side. Always color like this, because then you won't accidentally touch the colored part of the eye, the pupil. So there we go. It's looking much more like Scrap Baby. It's a very different way for me to do Scrap Baby with the blue, so it looks kind of weird compared to my old one, but I think it looks fine. And done. Okay, so there we go. We've got the eyes colored, and we've got the blue of the face and everything. So let's just go ahead. Let's not do any withering on the body yet, because we might end up smudging it, because we need to hold on to the body while we finish the head. So I think it's probably, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I think it's probably fine that we move on to the hair now. For the hair, I recommend starting with pieces of orange like this. Let's move our test subject to the side. As you can see here, the reason I have Diner Baby with me is to compare the hair. So if you can see with Diner Baby, I did much smaller strokes of hair. The bigger strokes of hair takes less time, but it's kind of messier when with Diner Baby you can add more layers. But I think I'm going to do the bigger strokes just to make it look like mine today. So let's go ahead. Let's grab our baby here. I would recommend doing this. I didn't do this with my original Scrap Baby, but I'm going to do it with this one. Cut off the fringe here. I wouldn't do it right at the end or right at where it connects to the head. Otherwise, you're going to have a hole in the head, and then you're going to have to sew it, and it's going to be a whole thing, literally. So she looks kind of bald right now. She looks like she's maybe like a 60-year-old guy who's losing his hair. But she'll look good in a second. So let's start cutting the hair. I don't want her to stain my old Scrap Baby, so I would get a piece like this. Just okay, you know what? We're moving Scrap Baby somewhere else. I'd get a piece like this, about this big, and then I would fold it in half, and I would just kind of line up the edges, and then cut out a piece of hair. And it'll be double, just as you can see. Cut it about that big. There we go. And then you just like snip off the end, and you've got 2 pieces of hair. So my old Scrap Baby, this looks about the size of each piece of hair, maybe a little bit bigger. So let's just trim this a little bit, just so it's not too big. About there. We'll do the same with this one. There we go. Let me go ahead. I'll show you guys how I glue it. So we want to have the hair go down enough. I would say have it go enough to cover her eyebrows. At least not fully, but like some of the strokes of hair have to cover it. I wouldn't have it end up here because she's going to look bald. So let's get some glue on here. Don't do too much glue. I would do it about from there up, and then make sure it lines up with her eye, about there, and then just stick it down like that. So that's how you start your Scrap Baby's hair. It hangs into her eye a little bit, but once you're done with it, you're gonna have hair all over the place, and she's gonna be full of hair. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna glue this one down real fast just to show you guys another example. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the camera, and I'm gonna cut a bunch of these out, and then I'm gonna film gluing them all down. So you guys can not have to sit through me cutting a ton of these hairs, because all you're gonna be doing is cutting that same hair over and over. So let me go do that. All right, so I've attached a lot of hair here. Obviously, it doesn't look very good yet, but we're not done. So the top, I didn't attach the very ends of it. You can go ahead, and if you want to, you can glue all that down. But I'm not going to yet because we're not done with the hair. So if you look here, there's a lot of spots where the hair is obviously showing, the hair underneath. You don't need to worry about that because I have a solution. But first, let's just go ahead and start gluing hair on the back. This is how I do it on the back. So once you have your glue down, I would recommend attaching it at the very bottom, just like that, because then you're not going to see the hair at the bottom. Maybe not have it that low, so I'm going to move it up a little bit. But about there is a good place, because you want to have the end go over the bottom of the hair underneath. I almost said brown hair because this bright orange makes baby's old hair look brown. So, although it's supposed to be orange, her old hair is supposed to be orange. So, these ones I'd recommend making sure that you can't see. So, have them very close together so that you can't see the old hair. I cut that one a little bit too big, so there we go. That looks nice. Oh, got a little bit of glue attached to that. And it's okay if you can still see a little bit of the hair underneath. Obviously, you can try to make it so that you won't, but there might always be times when you accidentally see it. So I would just say don't worry about it. Then you just want to glue down. Never cut off these bits, because the more orange that's on here, the better, because you want to eventually have this all covered. So if you can do it in the early stages and have it covered, by all means do it. So as we get to this part, you just want to keep going up as normal. This, it's going to start overlapping, just like there. Don't even bother with it, just glue it down. Doesn't matter if it overlaps, it's a good thing. So, glue it down like that. There we go. So we've got the back, half of the back, and we've got the full front, and we're going to fix up all the random spots in a second. So let me just fix and do the rest of the back real fast. I'll be back. All right, so we've got most of the back of the head covered here, or at least all the bottom. So now I'll show you guys how we can fix up holes and how we make it so that it doesn't look like a big cutoff here. So let's grab a piece of hair here. I've got this piece. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab my scissors and I'm gonna make this a little skinnier because it is a little too thick. So once we make it a little skinnier, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna glue it in there, or we might do it in the back. Let me look at how I did it on mine. Yeah, let's glue it right here. So put some glue there. Don't have it go onto the side of the face because we want this to move around, kind of be like that straggly hair that hangs down from your ponytail that doesn't stay. So oh, got burned. Ouch. So let's move that in there. I bent it around so that it covered up a little hole there. And now we've kind of got the fringe on the side. So let's just go ahead and we'll do that on the other side now, just so that it looks even. And cut that piece thinner. You want to have it always be a thin piece on the side there because it will fit better right on the side. It'll fit right in this little hole here. So let's put some glue there. There we go. And then glue that boy down on this girl. There we go. Looks good. Okay, so you want to get it so that it kind of bends around like that. So there you go. I don't think we need to do anything else. Maybe if you really wanted, let me put her back there. Maybe if you really wanted, you could get yourself some fabric and cut 2 little triangles out like this. Maybe like those. And then if you wanted to just stick some glue right here. And then put one of those triangles just under there. Just so it kind of connects them both. You're not really going to see that. You should probably make it as long as these ones now that I think about it, but you know what, whatever. So let's just add those in there. There we go. There we go. Looks pretty good. So let's patch up holes now. So like I said, we're going to patch up the holes. What I would start with patching holes is I'd just get more of your general orange cut slices of hair, and then, or fabric, I guess, and then put it like that. Put it right down the middle of the hole. Get your fabric, and as you can expect, just glue it right there, because Scrap Baby has many layers of hair, so if there's a couple layers, it won't look terrible. So there you go. So that's how you patch up a hole. Let's patch up the other hole now. Let me just make sure I've got a piece here that isn't too big, because I want them all to look generally the same. There we go. And also, you can do your hair as big as Diner Baby's hair like I did. You just cut smaller and more pieces. But this takes a lot less time, and it still looks pretty good, I'd say. So I want to move it up a little more just so that it's not hanging over all of them, so you can see the ones underneath. There we go. Just brush the hair down. Oh, we got a hole there we need to patch up. And I'm not cutting the video here, or cutting through any of this, because I'm about to start something new on here, or at least a different section of the hair. There we go. Add that. That looks really good. That looks really good so far. If you've got little pieces of glue hanging, once they dry, you can kind of just pull them off. They might burn you a little bit, like just now, but but you can just pull those off, because those don't look good. So now from the front, I'd say this looks pretty good. It's a little bit lumpy, but if you want to fix that lumpiness, just add more layers. I'm going to add more layers, but this time we're going to do it with blue. So Scrap Baby has strands of blue in her hair. She also has a little bit of yellow. So if you wanted to cut some yellow out, you could do that, but I'm only going to do blue today, because that's what I did with my original one, and my original one, I'd say, looks pretty good. So let's just, actually first, one thing I forgot to do, so as we all know, we've got the front and the back of the hair, but she's still got those weird patches. So let me glue these weird bits down so that none of those stick up. So we've got that, and that one's fine. down. Okay, the rest of these seem to stick up fine, or stick down fine. So let's put her like that, and then let's get some orange. We're gonna cut a piece about this big, maybe, and just make it kind of a circle, where it's more like an oval, very, very rough oval. So there we go, very ovular. Okay, so let's get this, put some glue in here. And I know this is gonna look weird, but trust me, it'll look fine after we're done with this entire plush. So just stick that in there. I know it looks very weird having a big orange piece of hair. You could just keep doing layers, but this is the quicker and it'll still look good. So let's scoop up that little piece that fell, a little piece of glue. So now we're just filling in the gaps, basically. That's all this is. We're just filling in the gaps so that none of it sticks up, so that there's no holes showing. And then we're gonna put a few more pieces of hair on top to cover these weird circles. So there we go. Let me stick that down as such. So we got that stuck down. That looks really good, I'd say. Let me cut this. Cut that. And then cut around here. Just cut these little excess pieces off. If glue gets stuck to your scissors, just stop cutting for a second and then pull the glue off the scissors before they dry. So there, we've got the spots covered. As much as that looks weird, it'll look fine in a second once we add the blue. So get some blue, cut out about this much of a piece. I'd say about that much. Fold it in half, and then do as I do. So just cut a big double piece like that. And this time we're not gonna cut it in half. We're gonna leave it like that. And we're gonna go ahead and put her back there for a second. I keep sidetracking myself. So we're gonna do that and then put glue all the way along. And then we're gonna stick this about, I'd say about here. And then let it just droop all the way to the other side where it lands, and then just stick it down like that. And as you see, we're gonna eventually cover up those gross parts. So let's do that again. Let's add some more blue. Hold on. This is possibly one of the most boring plushies to make just because of the hair. The hair is irritating. So let's add a little piece of glue there. So as you can see with that one, I didn't make it a double. I just made it one. And it still looks fine to me. I think at least. Put some glue there. Get another piece. Glue it like that. And I kind of cut them a little rough just so they look more withered. Like that. So there we go. It looks really good from the front. From the back, you've still got these. You can go ahead and you can cut more of these pieces and just glue that over if you want to get rid of that. But I'm going to leave it for now just for the sake of time and just for the sake of, you know, not boring you guys. So let's move on to the piggy tails next. So for piggy tails, little ponytails or whatever you call it, I think it's piggy tails. Hey, I'm not a hair expert. So, okay, so you want to cut pieces that look like this. Let me finish cutting it. They look like they just look like the piggy tails. They kind of bend out. They're kind of curved. So let's cut 2 of those. And I'll go ahead and start gluing them down to show you guys how I did it. So first you want to start by putting glue on the bottom like that. I put about that much on there. And then you want to stick this on the end. If glue starts to drip down as it is there, just make sure your hand's not underneath. There we go. So you want to, oh, I got the glue in my hand. All right, so we're gonna do it like that. Make sure they're fully attached. And then you just want to do that all the way around. So let me cut a couple more pieces just like that. I'm just gonna cut it. Folding in half is the best way to cut pieces, guys, because you can cut 2 at once. So I recommend doing it like that, just like I do. I mean, I recommend a lot of stuff, but I think that's the best way. Those don't look very good. I'm going to retry that. All right, so we've got the end of the hair done. It looks like that. This piece was a little bigger, so just ignore that. But that's how the hair looks, and if you cut it right, it should curve out to the side. So now we've got to do this part of the piggy tail. What you want to do, and do some of these pieces in blue, by the way, just so that you add the blue, because she does have a little bit of blue strewn, or I guess distributed about her head. So yeah, so let's start doing the actual side though, because it's gonna look weird if we just leave it like that. So start cutting about like this, and you want to cut a little bit bigger pieces, but just basically the same pieces that we just cut before, and you're gonna want to glue them down just like that. So let me put some glue on here. Make sure it overlaps a little bit onto that other piece. And then we want to get our piece of fabric. Put that there. There we go. All right. Looks really good if I say so myself. And then you just want to keep cutting those pieces and gluing them on the side there. So this piece might not be big enough, but I'll try it. Right, that should be good actually. If they're ever not big enough, like this one is, just don't glue it right at the end. Just glue it a little closer that way. And if there's a little gap there, it won't matter, because I have an idea on how we can fix that. So let me just keep cutting pieces, and I'll get back to you guys once I'm done. All right, so I've got a little more on there now. One thing I want to show you guys how you can fix, if you find problems with covering this part, if you cut a little piece that looks like this, it kind of looks like a kind of like a V, but a thicker V. If you fill that in with glue real fast, just like that, you can stick it on the bottom, about there, and then you can bend the sides of the V up, and it'll go right there, and it'll kind of just look like more hair, and then it'll cover the bottom, and it'll cover part of the back for you, so you have less to do on the back. All right, so we've just about finished one piggy tail. So if you look here, it's basically covered. There's a few bits where it still shows, but you can barely see it. If you really want to, you can go over it again and just keep adding layers until you completely can't see it. So now we're going to add something I didn't add on my original one, but I added on Diner Baby, which is the little scrunchy things that hold the hair in the ponytails. So this is very, very simple. All you need to do is cut a big enough piece of fabric. Make sure it's nice and stretchy too, because you're going to, just in case you cut it too small, you're going to want to be able to stretch it. So I'd cut a pretty thick piece, about like that. Just make it straight. And then you've got yourself something that can stretch out nicely, and you can wrap around a piggy tail. So let's just make sure that it can go all the way around. All right, looks like it just about can. So once you've got it wrapped around, just hold it in place, and then put some glue under the end, and there you go. It literally just, that's simple. I can't speak. It's just that simple, guys. There we go. One ponytail done. I'm debating whether or not I should finish the other ponytail. I think I'll do it towards the end of the video and just cut through it so that you guys don't have to watch two ponytails. But let's go ahead and start doing the body now, because I don't want to have to I don't want to have to worry about I don't want to have to waste too much time doing the ponytail. So also sorry if you hear my chair squeaking. One thing, so let's start with the body. One thing I would do is cut the fronts of these off. Just about like that, so it goes back a little more. This really hangs over the chest, and we're going to be adding drawing onto the chest, so let's go ahead and cut off that bit on there too. Now it's a little more straight. Make sure they're still on there, but they're just a little more straight, so that there's more room on the chest for us to mess around and draw. So let's add some withering onto the chest. First, you want to start by doing a little bit of a line under the chin. Let me move the camera down a little bit. A little bit of a line under the chin. Make sure you don't accidentally draw on her chin, otherwise it's going to look like she has a little goatee or something. There we go. Make sure it's a nice dark line. And then I would branch down. Let me just get this. Branch down like that. And make a little hole. Looks kind of like that. You might want it to go down past this onto the fan area where her little belly fan is. About like that. There we go. And then on this side, just do one that goes to about here. There we go. There we go. So we got some withering on her chest now. Let me put her back there. So now that we've got that, let's add the little orange circle thing on her chest. So if you don't know, Scrap Baby has some strange little circle-y like speaker things on her chest. I'm pretty sure they're the lights from Circus Auditorium or Circus Control Room. Sorry, I can't speak. I'm trying to remember my sister location places. So she has some little circles. You want to try to cut a really nice circle. Cutting a circle is hard, but if you can cut a good enough one, you can use that. So I think I'm getting a good one here, maybe. All right, that will do. So we've got ourselves a little circle. All you need to do, put some glue on the back, and then stick it, I'd say, just about there, like right on the side. That's what it looks like. And then the reason I have the green is because there's also a green one in there. And I didn't add a green one onto my original, but we're going to add the green one on here. So once again, just cut a little circle. That should be great. Just like that. So let's get that. Let's put some ink, not ink, put some glue. And then stick this one about there. I think it was a little higher up than the other one. There we go. That looks really good. Wow, I'm happy with this so far. So now we have Scrap Baby. She's got all the colors and everything that we need so far. Now let's move on and let's do the arms and the legs. Let me grab a different red. The red I have kind of sucks. I know I have a better red. There we go. I have a much better red here, I think. So I'm going to show you guys how we can do this. You also are going to need a silver. Sorry, I forgot to mention at the start. We're going to need a silver. I don't know if my silver has any ink left. If it does, then great. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to find an alternative. But let's start by doing this. So get one arm. You could even cut her arms off and then glue them back on if you wanted to do this easily. But get her arm, draw a line about there, just draw a line about here, and start coloring in. Okay, make sure you get it on the end of the arm, and make sure you don't get it on the body because the body is not that dark of a red. You want to make sure they're kind of the same. So color around there. And then you want to color all the way around. Sorry if you guys can't see. Let me move the camera down. You want to color all the way around so that you're just making kind of a red top of the arm. Just like that. I'm doing this similar to how I did it on my old one, so there are different ways you could do this. If you really wanted to, you could color the body in red. So you could color this whole part in red. I guess I've already started, so I kind of have to finish it now. But so that's something you could do as well, just to make it match. You could color the body, but I'm gonna leave it with just that part colored because you don't really notice it. It doesn't look that different. So yeah, once you've got that little piece of the arm done, go back down about, I'd say about. It's hard to show on camera. Go about this much and draw a line like that. The great thing about these arms is you can twist them around. So make sure that line goes all the way around. Twist it around, connect it, just like that. There you go. So you've got two lines. Now you want to draw a line in the middle, connecting them. Draw one on the sides, connecting them. And then draw one on the other side, connecting them. And then go to the back and draw a line connecting them. So then you've got yourself a little net piece. I'm going to leave that open because we're about to go back to it. But now you want to grab your black and you want to color in all these little rectangles that are not filled in. I know it looks different from my Scrap Baby, but my old Scrap Baby is wearing away. All the colors are coming off. So that's why hers looks a little more like gray. But I did it with black originally. There are some parts where we'll use silver, but for this part we are using black and red. So there we go. Let me get the last two. What DIY do you guys want to see next? I haven't really thought about it. I could do Scrap Trap. I could do Withered Freddy. I don't know. Okay. All right, next thing you're going to want to do is now we're going to want to draw a line, continuing from the same line down to about there. Do a same one here. Oh, I drew that a little big, so I guess we got a thicker line there. Draw one there. Then make sure you connect them all. Do one on this side. Connect them. Connect them. There we go. All right, so there we go. We've got that colored in. Now let's grab our silver, because this is where the silver is going to come into play. Hopefully there's ink left in this. If there's not, then I'm just going to do it with black. You're going to want to color in the end of the hand. It looks like it's out of ink, so let's just do it with black. So first, let's color in these squares. Let's color in these squares first. Then let's color this one. A lot of this is coloring, a lot of it's gluing, but thankfully for you guys, there's not going to be any sewing this episode. Unless you guys like to sew, you can figure out how to sew the claw yourself, but I'm going to show you guys how you can do it by hand. There we go. So we've got all that colored in. Now all we need to do is color in the hand. So this is going to be a little tricky. I'd recommend pinning it down. Yes, you're gonna, oh no, you're gonna get lots of ink on the table. Maybe try to wipe that off. I'm gonna have to severely clean the table later, but let's just try to get this on first. So you're gonna get it on your hands for sure, unless you use some fabric to grip it, but I'm just gonna use my hands because I'm a rebel. So here we go, twist that around. All right. I'm going to grab this, even though I'm getting ink everywhere. Make sure her hand does not touch the rest of her, otherwise she's going to get black all over herself, and that's going to look bad. So just color those bits. Coloring the end of the hand is probably the hardest part of the arm to color, because there's nothing for you to grab onto if you don't want to get ink on your hands. I would recommend gloves, maybe wearing gloves while you do this, just so you don't get ink all over yourself. There we go. There we go. So we've got one arm. I got some ink on my fingers. My fingers feel very weird now. I can draw on the table. But let's do the other arm. We're going to go back to red now. And we're going to do... This is not as hard to do. I'm just going to do it exactly how I did mine, like I keep saying. So let's just color. We're going to make a little sleeve first, all the way around. So about there. There. And there. All right, so there we go. So we've got about that much there. Now you want to skip about one ring's worth of space, if that makes sense, and you want to do a ring there. All right, so all the way around and connect it at the end. There you go. Now you want to grab an orange marker, if you have one. Let me find mine. There we go. I forgot a lot of these markers at the start of the video, so my apologies. Now let's color in this part orange. Man, my Scrap Baby looks so faded compared to this one. This one looks so nice and brand new. Although I'm not going to keep this one, so I'm going to keep using the old one. Don't worry, guys. The old one will always be the... Even if Funko made FNAF 6 plushies, I think I would still keep my original ones as the characters. because they're iconic at this point. There we go. So we've got arms done. We've got arms, we've got hair, and we've got face, and we've got body. Now all we need to do, pardon me guys, is the legs. So this is what I did with the legs. I'm going to change it up a little bit because I do not have silver, because my silver is dead. So first we're going to start by literally just drawing circles on the knees. About that much. I drew these a little bit big, but I think it still looks good. There we go. You're going to want to, let me look at how I did this. All right. I think all we're going to do is withering. So all you're going to need for this is black, because I do not have silver. So black it is. So let's just do some little creases, little pieces or divots. Do some up here. That looks good. Now let's do some on the back. This one. This leg would usually be completely gray, but I don't have any gray, so I know I'm the pro and I don't have anything. I'm kidding. I'm not a pro, guys. I'm just a kid doing this in my room. So Morty, there we go. We've got legs. We've got arms. All that's left is probably my least favorite part to show you guys on camera, just because it's very hard to like hold and do this, but we're gonna do the claw now. So let me grab my scissors. I'm gonna cut some gray. The way we're gonna do the claw is similar to how we did Withered Bonnie's teeth. If you guys remember, if you guys even watched that video, I know some people did. I don't know if everyone watched it who's here, but this is how I did, or this is how I'm going to show you guys how to do the claw. What I would do, get a big piece of gray about that wide. Let me clear off space here so that I can actually work. Let's go ahead, get that out, move it to about there. And then what you're going to want to do is get some glue. You're just going to start filling in a big gap of glue. So if you can see here, I'm making a big puddle of glue. I know this looks wasteful, like I said before. It looks very wasteful. It looks like a bad way to do it, but trust me, this is the way to do it. So there we go. Fill all those spots in with glue. You want to make sure that it's all completely covered. You don't have any spots that are open, or at least not most spots. And you want to also do this in a good enough time so that it does not start drying. So there you go. So you've got your puddle of glue. You want to grab the other side, and you just want to fold it right on top of it and smush it down. And then maybe even move it around like this just so that the glue spreads out more. But I would push it as far down as you can. And we're going to wait for that to dry. All right, so it's still a little bit hot, but I think we can go ahead and start cutting. So I'm going to cut right at the edge here. So you don't need to really follow this, because all I'm doing is I'm cutting out our nice big square that or our big rectangle that we glued down. So let me just move the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me just cut. We're just cutting along here. You want to cut right at the edge, so let me fix that. There we go. And then let's figure out where it ends here. It's about there. So let's cut along. And now, so since we glued that down, we've got kind of a stiff double, like a piece of, it just makes it doubled. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty good. So this is the first time I've done it like this, or done the claw like this, so it's going to be a little strange, but let's cut it in half first. Alright, there we go. So this will be, whichever one is thicker, let's take a look. Looks like it'll be this one. So this is going to be the top, so let's cut about there. Let's go back about here. And then I'm going to round that, cut along there, round that. And then we've got ourselves a top part of a claw. Now, it looks very flat right now, but just trust me, because I have an idea of how we can make it a lot less flat once it's done. So the bottom part of the claw is much smaller. Cut it so it's about that shaped, maybe a little more precise, about there, if that will focus on this. There we go. So cut it about that shaped, and you'll see that it'll look kind of like that. I'm going to cut this one just so it's a little thinner. It's a little bit thick. So there we go. That looks pretty good. So one is obviously smaller than the other, but it's just because the bottom one is smaller. So now let's grab our extra pieces from that big thing we just cut. Let me see where the extras are. We've got this little piece here, and I think this will be enough. So cut it in half. Make sure it's the double layered thing that we did before. You're gonna wanna put a little piece of glue here and a little piece of glue here. Put one piece of the claw on there and make it so that it's about as open as you want it to be. I'm gonna have mine about that far open. Put that down, and then we're gonna put the other piece on there. Let me just make that a little skinnier. All right. All right, and then let's just stick it over the top. Here we go. So we've got the two pieces glued together. It's about the same size as the other one I made. It looks very different, I know, but trust me when I say that this is gonna work out. So let me try to get it to focus. All right, well, the camera won't focus, but you know what? You can see it from this distance. So if it looks like about that, then you're doing the right thing. Next thing you're gonna wanna do, let's cut out another piece of gray. It needs to be not too big, but not too small. All right, so I've got two new pieces here. You just need to make sure that they're big enough so that they're bigger than the claw we just cut. So that looks like it fits. You wanna make sure it fits in there. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and put some glue around the edge of the claw all the way around. Make sure it doesn't drip on your hand. It'll hurt very bad. And then put some in the middle. There we go. And then just slap it right down. You're gonna glue it just like that. Maybe wiggle it around a little bit just so that the glue spreads around like I said before, and it'll get on all layers. You might even wanna do some little pieces of glue just around the edge, just so that it does get all over it. All right, so there we go. There we go. So let's wait for that to dry. All right, I believe it should be dry enough to start cutting out. I might be wrong, but let's try it. So we're just gonna cut around the very edge. So let's just go along here. Oh, it's a little bit wet still. It should be fine. I don't want to ruin my scissors, so I'm going to scrape off that glue because these are nice scissors. So let's just go along the edge. Just like that. It's getting kind of hard to cut with the glue there, but it's drying as we go. So as soon as we get to the end, it should be completely dried. There we go, some more glue getting stuck, but we're going all the way around the edge. And if you didn't figure out, this is gonna cause it to be more stiff, and it's gonna cause it to have more layer, and so it looks thicker, and it will hold up better. So yeah, there we go. Yep, looks good so far. Let's just finish this part. I know I said this a bunch of times, but let me know what you guys want to see in the next DIY. I was thinking about it just now, and maybe Funtime Chica. I don't know. I have two Funtime Foxies, so I can do another Funtime Chica. So there we go. This is what we've got right now. You could do the same on the other side, but I don't think it's necessary. I think that's all you need to do. So now let's attach the little, I guess you could say teeth, but they're more like spikes. So let's just get a piece of fabric. These are glued together. Let me get this piece of fabric here and just fold it in half. Cut the top off so that it is nice and straight like that. And then start cutting teeth. And I would recommend cutting them in doubles. There you go. So now we've got double teeth. So to attach the teeth, just fold this side and then put a layer of glue right across. Oh, I dripped it on there. Let me just wipe that off. That should be fine. All right, let me grab the teeth I cut out. And I keep saying teeth, but I mean spikes. There we go. There we go, we got one spike. Where'd they go? I cut them out, I know I did. Where'd they go? Here's another one. I thought I cut more. I think I might have to cut another one. Hold on, guys. Spikes here, these are actually double-sided. So if you want to do double-sided ones, like with the glue trick where you fold it in half, go ahead. But I don't think you need to. But I did it just because they'll look a little more stable, and they are more stable. So there we go. It looks a little odd, just because this one is very small. If we bring that out a little bit, it should look better. Obviously, this doesn't look as good as a sewn one, but I wanted to make... Sorry, guys, camera cut off again. All right, let's start going ahead. Put like 3 teeth on the bottom, just because the bottom is smaller. So I know you guys are going to kill me in the comments for saying teeth, but you know what? They look like teeth, okay? Spikes. So... or claw, I don't know. So there we go. We've got that. Looks like a good outline of a claw. All we need to add, if we grab our scissors, now the red is going to come into play. So let's fold this in half. Cut out a little piece about like this. About like that, so it's double layered. And then we're going to want to cut a fairly big size circle of red. It's not that big. It's about as big as her eyes are. So you're going to want to get one circle, put a piece of glue on, and put it right in the middle. Right smack in the middle like that. And then do one on the other side too. Just like that. Now, I think our claw is basically done. If you guys wanted to add more detail, more wire, stuff like that, you could for sure do that. But for me, I think I'm going to leave it like that because that's how I did my original one. So let's grab our new scrap baby here. We just need to figure out how to attach this. Also, sorry if you can hear the gardener in the background. There's nothing I can do about that. So let's push that. We push the hand inside out, kind of like that. I would recommend just putting the glue gun in there and kind of pushing it, and then maybe putting some glue into even, just so that it kind of glues down like that, glues down and stays down. One thing, now this is going to be a little bit tricky because we're not sewing it, so we're going to have to try to glue it and make sure it stays and does not fall off. So we're going to have to hold it until it glues. So you just put some glue in the end, you line them up, and you just stick them down like that. I'll get back to you guys when that dries. Alright, so our claw is just almost done drying, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what we've got done. So we've got our scrap baby plush here. I don't really know what else to say. I could have finished this ponytail, but I don't think I'm going to finish it today. I'm getting kind of tired, and I want to be able to upload this before it's too late because I want you guys to see it. So yeah, this is what we've got. Let me know if this, I guess if this helped you, what you want to see next, like I keep saying. And if you think this scrap baby looks better or worse than my old one. I think it has some better qualities like the blue, but it also, the hair doesn't look as nice as my old one's hair. So just let me know, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. This is our new scrap baby. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.